reactions. What's the topic today? Look, you never know. It's DeeDeesReactions, real life reviews with a real one for sure.
I had a conversation with a young woman yesterday who said that she started listening to the sprinkle advice at the ages of 16 or 17, and now that she's in college, she unfortunately realized that the only thing that it has gained her is a bunch of bodies, and that she struggles to communicate with men who are her age because she is only used to being with the older guys, the old men who were quote unquote providers. This is why I say that advice is so toxic and damaging. You have 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls out there listening to this advice, and you are literally serving them up to the hands of groomers. What do you really think a young woman, a young, naive woman is going to be able to do with an old man to get her bills paid? Do you really think that young, naive girl is going to be able to outsmart and manipulate that man? That old man who's been around the block a couple of times. Stop supporting influencers who are serving young women to the hands of groomers.
And I'm really starting to think that these women are unemployed or homeless, because every other video clip, podcast, it's like, oh, how much he got? My man gotta make 6 figures. My man needs to drive this kind of car. He needs to pay for my bills. He needs to pay for this. How much money? Money. And it's like, well, what you got? Because it seems like you don't have any money of your own, which is why you're going so hard for his money in his wallet that he worked hard for. That's always confusing to me. Like, what y'all got going on? I'm not saying you need to date a man that don't got any money at all, but it's also like, I love the fact that I have my own and I come to the table. I'm not begging. I'm not asking for my bills to be paid, rent to be paid. If you want to, and you got it like that, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not out here begging. Y'all be begging. It's starting to get that y'all don't have no job, no savings account, no home. Like, what's going on?
I mean, no lies detected. A lot of them are broke themselves. This is why they're looking for so much from a man. And when it comes to the sprinkle lady, I said a long time ago that her advice that she gives to these women is just reckless. It's reckless and it's dangerous, you know. And there have been women who have come out and said they followed that lady's advice and it didn't work out for them. It led them into a horrible situation, you know. And so I just think, you know, you can't, I mean, while I think she's giving bad advice, and I just think you need to discern the type of advice that you're accepting. You have to make the ultimate decision yourself of whether you agree with this person or not. And a lot of these young women are listening, and like she said, they realize you're just getting ran through. These men are running circles around these young women. And then the fact that she's telling women to really just take advantage of men, in my opinion. Oh, just go after the man with the money. Go after the man with the money. That's not going to yield you a good outcome. You're just going to find yourself being ran through. Your body count is going to constantly go up. That's not the best advice, you know. And I think she is married. She has a husband herself, but they're like, people are allegedly saying she running that husband, like he, you know. But I don't know anything about that. But all I know is the advice that she's giving out here is reckless and it's very dangerous. And it's a slippery slope. You can't play with people like that. And to say that she's married, that's not the best advice you would give to young women who may be looking for marriage and relationships. She's telling you how to finesse men, basically. And I just don't think that is good advice whatsoever. But these women got to start being more cautious of who they're getting their advice to, depending on what it is that you want. Now, if you want to go out here and you want a sugar daddy and you just want an old man to take care of you, you still got to be cautious out here with that too. You know, you never know what type of situation you may end up in dealing with these types of men and then their family members and stuff like that. You got to be careful with that. That's still not a good way to go. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she would teach her daughter that. Would you tell your own daughter to go out here and just go get you a rich man and just, you know, lie to him and tell him if you got kids? She said, don't let them know that how many kids you got and all these things. Like she's, you know, so it's just deceptive information in my opinion. And if these people had stable parents to tell them who they actually listen to, they would know that. And that's why this all goes back to how you're raised, your parenting. This is why two stable parent households are necessary, where you have a stable mother and a father to teach you these things. So Sprinkle couldn't tell you anything. Because your parents will be your influencers. What your parents say is what you will follow. So your parents would, you know, teach you the right way. It would teach you to let you know, no, that's not what you do. You don't go after somebody strictly for money. You don't go after somebody just to take advantage of them. No, You want to find companionship. You want a husband. You want stability. You want to build with your man. They will tell you those things, because if they understand what's important and how you get it, they will teach their children the same. But this is what happens when you don't have stable parents that you are, that you respect. You let any outside influencers direct your path and tell you what you should be doing. This is why you have these people listening to whoever, because they don't have stable parents who was a major influence on their lives. And I think your parents should be your influencers, your first influencers. I don't think that social media, celebrities, or any of these podcast people or people telling you all this, you should have parents who have given you tools and the information that you need to be successful. And then it's up to you to carry that out and follow it and become what you need to become. But the problem is we don't have stable families anymore. We don't have 2-parent households with that type of stability. And so this is why everybody's influenced by Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, and you're letting these people raise you. TV, social media, society, reality TV, all of this stuff is, it influencing these people to make the choices that they're making. And this is why our community is the way it is now. This is why a lot of these women are single mothers and they're cooked. This is why they don't understand the dynamics of a relationship and how to build one and keep one. This is why they don't understand men, because they didn't have stable fathers in their households to show them by example what it is to be a father and what it is to be a husband and what it is to have 2 parents loving on each other and teaching you about that. They don't know anything about it because they didn't have it. And the outcomes are showing. It's showing, improving the outcome of not having stable families anymore. Because now we have a society of a bunch of degenerate people who are running wild in, all around, just doing anything, doing whatever they think is, that they want to do, thinking that this is a good thing. And then when they don't get the outcomes, when depression set in, when all these other things, mental issues start accumulating, now they're mad and saying, oh, the men are responsible. No, the lack of parenting is responsible. Going out here thinking that you could be promiscuous and thinking that somehow you won't get the best of the best and your life gonna be so great. It's insane. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy, the way people think. This is why I say your mentality is how you think is how you move. If you start thinking better, you will move in a better way and you'll get a better outcome. But if you're still thinking in this ghetto fabulous mentality, that's what you're gonna get, ghetto fabulous outcomes. And to me, ghetto fabulous is not good. That's just my thoughts.